requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act has been satisfied. Notice was properly given and notice have been transmitted to the Courier News and the Star Letter on Wednesday, January 8, 2014, as well as posted on the bulletin board of the city clerk's office. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call?
Yes. Councilmembers Brown.
Here.
Reeves. Absent during roll call. Storch. Absent during roll call. Teller. Absent during roll call. Williams.
Here.
Chairman Reed.
Here.
And Council President Rivers.
Here.
We have a quorum, ma'am.
Do we have any communication from the mayor?
Yes, from the Honorable Mayor, correspondence dated March 28, 2014, addressed to members of the governing body, requesting advice and consent of the appointment of Thomas J. Crownover, alternate number 2, 1112 Washington Avenue, to serve as Commissioner of the Plainfield Municipal Utilities Authority. From His Honorable Mayor, correspondence dated March 28, 2014, addressed to members of the governing body, requesting advice and consent of the following nominees to serve as a member of the Plainfield Shade Tree Commission: Mary Burwinkle, 1785 Sleepy Hollow Lane; Oscar Riva, alternate number 1, 1338 Martin Avenue. From His Honor the Mayor, correspondence dated March 28, 2014, addressed to members of the governing body, requesting advice and consent of the appointment of Wilma Campbell, 1404 Highland Avenue, to serve as a member of the Plainfield Cable Television Advisory Board. And also, as an addendum that was not added onto the agenda as discussed before, but what I have now is from His Honor the Mayor, correspondence dated April 3rd, 2014, addressed to members of the governing body, requesting advice and consent of the appointment of Ann Robinson, 1330 Highland Avenue, to serve as a member of the Plainfield Library Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any other communications and petitions?
Yes, Jeffrey W. Truitt, Plainfield High School, has submitted correspondence addressed to the governing body, requesting permission for a street and sidewalk encroachment to conduct a carnival fundraiser on May 22nd and May 26, 2014. Also received was correspondence from Polo Campero, requesting permission from the governing body to conduct a community event in the parking lot behind 301 East Front Street on April 19, 2014, from 11 a.m. through 4 o'clock p.m. Also received from the Plainfield Fire Division, requested permission from the governing body to conduct its annual fire prevention and safety fair on October 4th from 8 p.m. through 2 p.m.
Thank you. We received our financial reports. Any reports of special committees?
Not committees.
Okay, seeing none. Discussion items. Okay, there was an ordinance proposed for Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission. At this time, I'm not in favor. I mean, we serve as the ABC Commission, the City Council, so I don't see any need for us to create another commission for alcohol, to serve as the Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Is there any other comments from my colleagues?
Yes, I had made a proposal, I guess it was 2 years, 3 years straight, Madam President, to have a board other than the council to act as the alcohol control, and it was soundly rejected. In fact, I got some severe criticism about it. So I'm not sure what this is about now that we have rejected it previously. So I'd like to get either more information on it or it's rejected as far as I'm concerned. If it comes up. I haven't seen the ordinance. Was it distributed to us yet?
I put it on as a discussion item.
Oh, this is a discussion item?
Yeah, I
Okay. I have to see
want to
that
bring
as
forth
well.
as an ordinance.
Can I ask, was this proposed before by the, however happens before, or before by the
Yeah.
administration?
Yes, actually, Councilman Reed, as he said, last year, 2 years ago, he brought up the fact that we should have another ABC commission, but there was a lot of objectives to it. So that's why we didn't form it. And at this time, I don't see no need to form it now.
Thank you.
I just wanted to hear from the administration.
So I can explain what a standalone ABC board would look like. Basically, recommendation of the administration is to put forth a standalone ABC commission, which would be operated by a 3-member board. This is set by state statute. The 3-member board would have all the rights and powers of the city council when it comes to either the discipline of liquor establishments and also the renewal or revocation of a license on a yearly basis. As the council knows, the council on a yearly basis sees revocation, decides on revocation or renewal of licenses. However, this standalone board would have the ability to meet more regularly with regard to ABC issues. The state statute does allow the governing body to act as the ABC board or to have a standalone. It's purely up to every municipality to decide how they would like to proceed. But the administration has recommended and requested that the council consider the idea of having a standalone board.
At this time, we can serve as a standalone board for the ABC. Moving right along, I asked Mr. Woods to come in reference to the housing authority, the Elmwood Garden project. Because I had spoke to you to find out if this project had been moving along, and at that time when I spoke to you, you said that the project was still at a standstill. Has there been any
Yes, there's been progress, and I want to thank administration. First of all, I'd like to greet everyone and say good evening. Mayor Mapp, how are you tonight?
Wonderful.
Very good. Good to see everybody. I would like to say thank you to administration because it was Mr. Neerstad did email Mr. Hurd, which was CC'd to me in reference to the redevelopment plan of Elmwood Gardens moving forward. So of course, that has to go for a second reading amongst the planning board. And the comments have already been set in by our consultants, and we're very pleased that it's moving along because time is of the essence as we're trying to move as expeditiously as we can.
I really appreciate that update. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we have on our table the proposed budget deliberation schedules. Are there any objections to that? Would you guys take a copy?
Oh, okay, I got it. Let me just double check.
Madam President, I have no objection to it. It's a little, it seems like it's a little fast, but the administration moved to get us a budget, so we should consider it right away. And maybe this year, we will go into full operation of a budget early. Previous years, it's been November, September, October, we argued, we studied, we had people comment. This year, we got a quick budget for the administration, which I commented on already. We look at it, we have all the hearings in April, and we may have to have a special meeting. However, I'm here, and I'll be here until, sometime later. However, I recommend that we approve that schedule and let's start meeting and get this over with.
I just have one, I actually will not be able to be here on that Tuesday, the 22nd, because I'm still teaching. But the Thursday, we actually have the council's consultant regarding the Muhlenberg campus. There's a big community meeting at that same time at 7 p.m. on that Thursday, which, we've obviously, all of us, I guess, council and administration, have urged the public to come from. And this was but just to remind the people here, this was a council hired a consultant to receive feedback and, from the community, etc., regarding the future, potential uses of the Muhlenberg campus. So that's on that same Thursday night. So I would respectfully suggest that we change that night so that the public can hear our feedback and the CBAC feedback, but also attend that important hearing.
Okay, so with that being said, taking into consideration, would you guys like to move it to the 25th? That Friday?
The Friday doesn't work for me. I have two events I have to go to.
I would suggest
Oh, it's
the
Friday.
public,
Oh, that's Good Friday.
the public
that's-
will
that's
see
not Good
us
Friday.
right on television. They put it on pretty fast, so we can still have the meeting, and all of us are not going to the Muhlenberg hearing, are we? I think one council lady and the rest of us will be there. So I say leave it the way it is.
Well, I don't know that I'm the only one who's going to be there, because there are only 4 of us sitting here. But I would say that, since this is, the budget deliberation and the public is supposed to be here, or the public should be here, I think it would be a hardship to expect the public to, kind of weigh 2 pretty important things. So, that's why I made that request. Is maybe we could move it to that next Monday, the 28th, because that way we'd still be in the month of April.
Thank you.
We have to come to some type of conclusion, because if we move it to the 28th, it gives us 2 days to have a special meeting for budget, because we don't have a temporary budget, we're not funded till the end of April.
Well, Councilman Storch, what we, yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
Can I make a suggestion?
What we were just talking about was the council's budget deliberation schedule, and I was just suggesting that we change that Thursday, since there's, an equally, probably to many people in the public, community meeting at Clinton School that same night, that we move that final council CBAC feedback to another day. And I was suggesting as an alternative that Monday, the April 28th.
Why don't we discuss that further when we get to the resolution to add it to the agenda?
Well, we're discussing it now, though.
I know
It was
it's
brought
not
to us
long.
now.
Mrs. Smiley?
Yes, Council President, I was going to suggest that since we have the 24th scheduled for council and CISBAC feedback, we move the 23rd meetings to the 24th, and then move the feedback for CISBAC to the next week. We don't have actual hearings scheduled on the 24th.
Right, that's the
We do have actual hearings scheduled on the 23rd for Public Works and General Government. What I'm suggesting is that we move that from the 23rd, which conflicts with the Muhlenberg hearings, to the 24th, and then move.
No, I think the 24th is that Thursday.
Yeah,
The 24th is that Thursday.
that's the Muhlenberg.
That's the Muhlenberg hearing. So the
Oh,
23rd
well, the
is
20,
fine.
the 20, we can move the 24th meeting to that Monday, if you like, if you can still make the 23rd meeting. Because the 23rd meeting is the one that's more important
Right.
than what we have scheduled for the 24th.
Okay, so the council feedback will take place on the 28th.
That works.
Does that work for you, Councilman Reed?
Yeah.
Councilwoman?
What time?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Council President, would you like me to read these dates out loud for the public's knowledge?
Yes.
That's the Department of Public Affairs and Safety, Police Division, and the Fire Division are scheduled for April 17th, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the City Hall Library. Economic Development on April 22nd, 2014 at 7 p.m. at the Plainfield Public Library. The Administration, Finance, Health and Social Services, Information Technology, the Media, the Health Division, and the Purchasing Division on April 22nd, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. at the Plainfield Public Library. Public Works Division, Inspections Division, and Recreation Division is scheduled for April 23rd along with the Office of the Mayor, and that will take place at the Plainfield Public Library. And we have canceled the April 24th date and changed City Council and Citizens Budget Advisory Committee feedback to that Monday, April 28th, and that will take place at the City Hall Library.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's a problem.
Oh, I won't be here. That's my birthday. Can't.
We'll bring a cake.
Wait, we gotta reconsider that.
All right, why don't you consider it and let's move on with the meeting?
Okay, also the 17th you said was the date? For consideration, at some point in time, the planning board is having its meeting at the Plainfield Public Library, and that's the meeting where we're going to be hearing the site plan for a portion of the Muhlenberg campus. I do think it's going to be of great interest to citizens. And that's the time of that is 7 o'clock.
Moving right along.
I would just say that we've had budget hearings and there's only 3 of us there, 2 of us listening
Because you don't
to,
need 5.
so we don't need the quorum and all that stuff, I think.
Okay.
Council President, I also want to note that the public hearing on the budget was scheduled for the May 5th agenda fixing session. So in order to adopt the budget in April, we would have to re-advertise because we could not adopt the budget until we have a public hearing. The public hearing and the final adoption of the budget can take place on the same night, but as it stands right now, the public hearing was scheduled for May 5th.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to change that date. So I'll get back with you.
Okay.
Speak with Mrs. Smiley. Yeah. Okay? Thank you. Moving right along, we have public comments, which is limited to resolutions and ordinance being considered for this evening.
Johnny Pritchard, 723 Arlington Avenue, Plainfield. On items Victor and Whiskey regarding the equipment for the fire department, they need that equipment and they need it ASAP. Because let's not forget that during the September 11th attacks, 343 New York City firefighters were killed in the line of duty. And they need the equipment in order to protect us all. And if you back them up, they will come through for you, as well as the police department. They will come through for you, and they will do their best. They're out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, both day and night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, members of the council, my name is William Eaton. I'm an attorney for Trico Partners here on behalf of the Liberty purchase. I don't know whether you want to dialogue with us. I haven't been here before, so I don't know what your practice is. If you'd like to...
This portion of the meeting is for resolutions and ordinances considered tonight.
I believe it's on the list as number X. Letter X, excuse me.
There's going to be no dialogue at this time, no back and forth. I mean, you can speak to...
I just wanted to offer you the opportunity. If there are any questions, I want to be here to answer either now or when it comes up on the agenda. I didn't know what your process was, but I wanted to make sure I participated in the fullest amount possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. And could I just say one more thing? You have a great clerk's office. They are a pleasure to deal with. I really, I can't say how highly I consider them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more for privilege of the floor?
Seeing none, I make a motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And again, as always, it's a pleasure to see you here, to observe us in our action up here on these nice seats we sit in. There's 5 of us here tonight. Hopefully we do some of the things you want, but not all of them. We never do all of them. Consideration of a public hearing and second reading and final passage of ordinances for adoption on second reading. I have MC 2014-07, an ordinance amending Chapter 9, license permits and regulated activities, Article 17, schedule of license and permit fees of the municipal code of our great city. Do I have consensus to add it to the agenda for next week's voting?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have to have any public hearing.
No, the public hearing will take place at the regular meeting next week.
Thank you. Item 8, resolution, new business, legislative body's recommendation. Councilmatic resolution appointing nominees to serve as members of the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee for this year, calendar year 2014. I have a resolution here. You want to, is this all the people that's going to be serving? Permission to put on the agenda. Okay. Do I have permission to add it to the agenda? Any objection, any question at this point? I think you saw this as a new resolution.
Yeah, I have a question. Usually there are 7, is there gonna be someone else appointed, do we think?
I thought there was 7 women.
Only 6. Somebody didn't volunteer an appointment, I guess.
We have been-
Yeah, I have one person that I have to add on. I just was waiting to get a yes. I didn't want to put their name on there without a yes.
So
it
next
will be
week we
set.
should have 7. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
All right.
So that's the agenda.
Yes.
Councilmatic resolution celebrating the retirement of Mary Ann Anderson as the director of the One Stop Career Center of Union County. Any objection to adding that to the agenda? Any questions?
No.
Add, okay. Resolution authorizing a residential waiver of Fatima S. Raymond to serve as the director of the Plainfield Community Development Programs. What's your,
Yes.
Yes.
okay, so Corporation Council, you're next, please.
Under administration executive, we also have the mayoral appointments for the various boards committees that we're ready to recommend.
What was that again, sir?
The various appointments from the mayor, and boards and commissions,
Oh, you mean,
including the,
oh, that's on the agenda?
yes, it's the Thomas J. Conover as PMUA Commissioner, Mary Bergwinkle and Oscar Reba for Plainfield Shade Tree Commission, Wilma Campbell for the Plainfield Cable Television Advisory Board, and Ann Robinson for the Library Board.
That's under administration and finance?
Administration and executive branch, they're from the mayor. They're on the agenda as.
Oh, I see, it's not listed on the.
Exactly, they need consensus to be added to the agenda.
Okay. All right, let's take them one at a time then. First person.
Thomas Conover, PMUA.
Excuse me, Council President. Just as a point of clarity, we're recommending Mr. Cronauer as a second alternate on the committee, on the PMUA committee. Just to let you know.
Any comments on that?
Who would he be replacing?
I believe the resolution says Mr. Sanders,
And you can explain why that is?
because Mr. Sanders is no longer an alternate.
Just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Oh, it's a vacant.
Yes, it's
It's
vacant.
vacancy.
Okay, got it.
I think the PMUA have the state is investigating them, and I'm told that the resolution from the state, well, I could be wrong, but it's gonna be here by May 1st. So what I'm suggesting, I'm just suggesting this to my colleagues, is that we take no action on PMUA until we receive the report from the state, whether they're in violation or whether they're doing everything that needs to be done.
I have a question. What's the rationale?
The rationale is right now, if the appointments that are there, if they're doing a good job along with the executive director, what's the reason to make changes?
No, it's not making a change, it's filling a vacancy. It's a vacant seat.
He's filling the seat vacated by Cecil Sanders because he became a permanent member.
Right.
So he's not replacing anybody. And because this candidate has no prior dealings as a commissioner or an employee of PNUI, the fact that they're investigating it really has nothing to do with them. So, I mean, I think it's appropriate to put him up.
I stated my case. My vote is no.
I vote yes.
So yes,
I vote yes.
No.
no. Okay, then it fails. We will hear that, I guess in April or May, whenever it comes up again. This is April, right? Okay, the next one was
Mary Birdwinkle and Oscar Reba, alternate number 1 for the Plainfield Shade Tree Commission.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, I have no problem with that. Ms. Burwick worked hard for us here in the city.
Next, we have Wilma Campbell for the Plainfield Cable Television Advisory Board.
Yes.
She's been represented from the Board of Education. And finally, we have Ann Robinson for the Plainfield Library Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Yes.
Back to choose the mayor's nominees.
That's it. Okay, go to Corporation Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to add several resolutions that were discussed at length during the executive session. First is a resolution authorizing settlement in the workers' compensation matter Henry Robinson versus the City of Plainfield in the amount of $52,698. Secondly, a resolution authorizing settlement in the workers' compensation matter Thomas Scalera versus the City of Plainfield in the amount of $19,700. Resolution authorizing settlement in the matter of Shelby Vitelli versus the City of Plainfield in the amount of $25,000. Resolution authorizing settlement in the matter of Joseph Colucci versus the City of Plainfield in the amount of $25,000. And finally, an additional appropriation to the law firm of Goldenberg, Mackler, Syag, Mintz, Pfeffer, Bonchi, and Gill in the amount of $2,000. Thank you very much.
Yes, I take exception to, you said extensive discussions. If we were in that meeting about 20 minutes, that's not extensive from passing all that money, but we accept it. Item B, under Department of Administration and Finance, this is Mr. Smiley's department, resolution authorizing a residential waiver of Irene Hunt to serve as health officer of the City of Plainfield. And my recommendation to the council is that we need...
Council President?
Yes,
I'd like to request that we table this item until next week, please.
that was going to be my recommendation until next week. Thank you. So that one will not be considered at this meeting.
So if I'm understanding correctly, this will be on the regular meeting agenda as a new item.
Recommend that. Item E, resolution appointing Mr. Mancello, David Mancello, as alternate fund commissioner for the Public Entity Joint Insurance Fund. We'll add that to it, but may I make a comment? The Joint Insurance Fund is very important as far as helping us to curb the list of injuries and regulations that we have to conform to make our city safe. Very important appointment, Mr. Mancello. If you don't have time to go to each of the meetings, which I think is still held in what, Brick? Or somewhere down there, send someone, please. Each meeting. I think they hold them every month, every 3 months or something.
Chairman, he's going to be acting as the alternate. Our primary representative will be Karen McCrae from our Dabney. He called me Ricky Williams. Karen Dabney from Human Resources, so she hasn't missed a meeting. He's our alternate just in case she can't.
Yes, and may I make a suggestion as you go to these meetings, come back and just give us a little recap here at the council so we know what's going on and can look at these workman comp claims a little more carefully because it's a lot of money we just approved tonight.
Sure.
Certainly. Mr. Chairman, I will make sure that either Ms. Dabney or myself will provide updates to the council after each meeting.
Okay, so I have no objection to adding this to the agenda?
No.
Okay. F, resolution authorizing the continuation of an existing contract with the Delta Dental for the purpose of providing employee group insurance coverage.
Fine.
Yes.
And when he says the existing contract, meaning that there's no increase in the numbers? If it's existing and you're just going to extend it, is that true, Mr.?
It's existing in that we still have it from previous years, not that it's the same price.
What was that again?
So the existing is in that we've had it for in previous years, not that it's the same price. Insurance costs have been going up regularly since.
I understand that, but it might. Okay, it's on the agenda.
Yes, thank you.
G, resolution authorizing continuation of an existing contract with the Sigma for the purpose of providing employee group, short and long-term disability insurance,
Yes.
insurance life, accidental death, and dismemberment insurance coverage. Any objections to adding that?
No.
Okay. H, resolution authorizing approval of the canceled 2014 taxes billed to certain tax exempt properties. No objection?
No.
No.
I, resolution authorizing a refund of overpaid taxes on 14 properties totaling $23,832.04, which I was in that group, but I'm not. Any objection to adding that?
No.
On the agenda. Item J, resolution authorizing a refund on a tax account due to a state tax appeal. And listed in Schedule A, Schedule B rather, and totaling $13,297.60 in tax reductions. Any objections?
No.
Item K, resolution canceling tax premium balances on outstanding tax sales certificates and on tax sales certificates foreclosed by the lien holders as per the attached Schedule C. I don't see the amount on that, so I guess I have to look at the resolution. Any objection to adding it?
No.
Okay, item L, resolution authorizing approval of the tax collector to conduct a sale of 15 municipal held tax sales certificates. Definitely any objection to adding that?
No.
Okay. Item M, resolution authorizing a change in the custodial of petty cash funds for the police petty cash fund. Any objections?
No.
Okay. Under Department of Public Affairs and Safety, item N, resolution approving authorization to apply for a Category 1 burn criminal justice program planning grant. Any objections? I'm sure you're not going to have any questions. Okay, item O, resolution to apply for 2
Criminal justice.
programs from the same organization. Any objection to adding that to the agenda?
No objection, but question.
Yes,
Could
sir.
we get a very brief explanation on items N, O, P, and Q, since they're all grants for the police department?
You have a question again?
Just get, hear from the administration what
Oh,
what
okay.
these 4 grants are for.
All right, you want to go through it first, or you want him to come up now? or-
Yeah, just let him, just give it, you should talk to all four of them at once.
Captain, welcome.
Good evening, Captain Saltis, Stephen Saltis from the Police Division. It's actually 3 grants. The third one's a duplicate of one of the first 2.
Yes,
So
Q is a duplicate.
It'll be N, M, and O. The first one is a Category 1 grant. It's a planning grant only, and that's an amount up to $100,000 for a strategic, collaborative, and community plan to reduce crime in a targeted neighborhood. We would be looking at our crime maps, identifying a targeted area from high crime, and look to plan the ability to lessen the crime in that area. So that would be only a planning grant. The second one is planning and implementation. So depending on which ones we are able to qualify and possibly win, because there's a limited number of grants that are going to be made available under this program. I think the first one is 15 throughout the country. The second one is up to $1 million, and that has 5 grant possibilities throughout the country that we're applying for. That one would be planning and implementation of the program. And then the third grant is a gang and gun crime reduction program up to an amount of $150,000 to reduce gang and gun throughout the city.
Would that include their buying back guns and all of that in this particular grant?
Well, we haven't put the whole program together, so
Okay.
we're not, I
Yeah,
can't answer whether that would require.
Thank you.
Council President, if I may just make one recommendation too, that the language be changed to reflect an acceptance of the grant as well as the application, so that we can do it in a one-step process and not have to come back. If that's okay, if there's consensus on that, we can change the language in all the resolutions.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
So, aside from the planning grant, are most of the funds going towards police on the street or equipment or?
No, it would be a program to reduce crime. It'll require partnerships. We're meeting with the prosecutor's office now. We're probably going to get the sheriff's department involved with it, probation, and community-based groups that we're going to try to identify and get involved with the program. So it has to be an across-the-board program. It's not just one factual thing with the police department only involved in it. We'll have to have multiple partners to identify the problems and how to solve it, from recidivism, the offenders coming out of jail, what to do with them, getting in the probation department. So there's a lot that we want to get involved with it, and that we'll be working on, because the due date is, we just found out about these, and the due date is May 6th. So we've had a lot of meetings with the county prosecutor's office already, and it's going this week to put the whole program together and
Well,
identify partnerships.
I wish us good luck.
Very much.
Can I just say, one of the things that I think that's excellent about this particular grant is that the partnership with the community.
Yes.
And also, we don't have to match funds, but we do welcome contributions.
No, there's no actual an amount of matching funds, but they do suggest in the program that in-kind contributions are strongly encouraged and provide evidence of the applicant's commitment and increased potential for sustainability. So we'll be looking at some type of in-kind program.
And that acceptance doesn't include him coming back and saying he got the grant.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And if you get these grants, let us know. If you don't get them, I'd suggest you come back and let us know the reason they give for not giving it.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
I was up to item P, which is a resolution that you just heard from the captain regarding approval to apply and accept a violent gang and gun crime reduction program for the fiscal year 2014 grant.
Yes.
Any objection added? Item Q is a duplication, so we're skipping over that.
Yes.
Item R then, resolution authorizing a 3-year.
Skipping it. You gotta add it.
Item Q is not a duplication. There are several of them in here. The other one was category 1.
Category 2.
That's a duplicate.
Item O.
Item Q was a duplicate.
And item Q was a duplicate.
We have category 2.
Oh, yeah, it's listed there. Category 1, Category 2, and then Category 3.
Item O is category 2.
Q is a duplicate of
Q and O are the same.
Yeah, so we're skipping that, yeah. On the agenda, right?
Okay.
Are we straight?
Yes.
Okay. Item R, resolution authorizing a 3-year subscription for the SWIFT 911 system of Swift Reach Networks, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $8,995.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
What is this about?
Can-
Can
can
anyone
I-
explain what a SWIFT?
Is this the system that will alert residents in case of emergency by text, media, and phone and voice? Is that?
What was that again, Mr. Madam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Captain Stephen Saltis again. Swift Reach is a web-based emergency notification system. What we can do with that is put out phone call notifications to the community. We can limit it to a geographic area. Let's say there's a particular problem, a bad accident in an area, you could draw a circle around a half mile, put out a message, and it would go to all the listed phone numbers in that particular area. In addition, people have the ability to sign into the program and put, let's say, a cell phone number on there, and they would get the messages for their particular area. So we can limit it to a geographic area. We can open it up to a wider area. It'll send out text messages, it'll send out emails, it'll send out the voice messages to the listed phone numbers that are listed in the phone book.
What kind of crimes would you be sending out information to people listening to their phones?
It could be storm-related information, like during Sandy,
Okay.
the phones that did work, and we were able to get to, you would have gotten information out to those particular phones. Accidents, I mean, we have a railroad that runs through town, so if anything ever happens with that, we could put out a message. Just general messages of any nature.
The packet that we received has all of that information. It says during fires, outages, hurricanes, evacuations, road closures, and more.
Council President, and
So it's in the
Don't we
packet.
do that now? Isn't that our policy now to notify people in those areas by phone and television and all of that?
Council President,
Yes.
with your permission. I believe that many of our residents have seen or experienced the difference this past winter as a result of the city making available to residents the Nixle system of notification. This system expands significantly on Nixle, and it allows the city, the administration, to communicate in a more efficient and effective manner with all of our residents. We will be populating a database with information which will allow us, in case of an emergency or for any reason, we could draw a circle, as the captain said, around a building, around 1272 Park Avenue. And we could notify everyone in that building of any event that we desire to notify that building of. So this is a system that will fulfill one of our pledges to be more communicative with the residents of the city for any
It only
reason.
costs, what, $3,000 a year, so that's not too bad.
Yeah,
You mentioned to put it on the voting?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I read it.
Item F, thank you, Captain. And Mr. Mayor. Resolution authorizing a public auction of abandoned and/or unclaimed motor vehicles.
Yes. Yes.
T, resolution authorizing the purchase of one Ford F-550 Duralift bucket truck for the Police Division Signal Bureau in the amount not to exceed $119,803.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, U, resolution authorizing approval to apply and accept a New Jersey Department of Highway and Traffic Safety Click It a Ticket 2014 statewide seatbelt mobilization grant.
Yes.
Item V, resolution authorizing approval for the rejection and return of a bid security received February 12, 2014 for fire equipment.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, item W, resolution authorizing the purchase of fire hoses, I guess that would be, nozzles, and other appliances for the from the Continental Fire and Safety Inc. in the amount not to exceed $47,411.40.
Yes.
Definitely. The fire chief, it looks like he's got more activities for us to work on up here on the lake. That's doing a relatively good job as far as the council is concerned. X, under the Department of Public Works and Urban Development, resolution authorizing the approval of a second amended assignment, assumption, and modification and reinstatement of a pilot agreement to the Liberty Community Association to Urban Renewal Entity, Liberty Village Estate Urban Renewal LLC.
Okay.
What is all that mean?
Now you come. In case
Yeah,
council
so
members
that's-
have any
yeah.
questions, I think they have someone here representation.
I have no questions.
Paul Sanchez, Deputy City Administrator of Economic Development. And this resolution, as it was in your packet, is a resolution to renegotiate a pilot contract that it was established in 1979 through the Liberty Village. And the existing owner is selling the property. Here the proposed new owners. And in that resolution, what we're doing is amending the existing pilot program to increase the percentage of tax payments that we're getting from 6.28 to 10%, which will give the municipality about $60,000 more per year. In addition to that, the resolution will indicate that in our negotiations with the potential buyer, we negotiated various items to include that they will give us a new community room for the residents. They will work with the police department to monitor and link the camera systems. In addition to that, they will upgrade the electric and plumbing systems in the facilities. And in addition to that, they will give us a new laundry facility for the residents to include up to 8 to 10 new cameras. And further, they will also improve the sidewalks and the surrounding areas around the property. So again, this is just extending,
Tax credit?
not tax credit, it's a payment in lieu of taxes. This is an existing agreement that has been in place since 1979, and it will continue. So all we're doing is amending and increasing our percentage that we're going to get in payments. Plus, we allowing, in order for every time you have a pilot agreement, in order for a transaction to take place, the municipality has to approve that transaction. Obviously, this will be subject to the new owners obtaining a proper approval from HUD and the proper contract agreement with the HAP, which is the Housing Appropriation, what is it?
Housing assistance.
Housing assistance payments. So this is the Liberty Village, which is 96 units, and that's basically what the contract is. We're not giving them a new contract. We just amended the existing contract and allowed them. This original contract was for 50 years, so all we're doing is complying with the term of the contract, which it will be 20 years? 20 years.
So an extra 20 years?
Not extra 20 years. We're just going to allow them to finish the contract that we have. The original contract was for 50 years.
From 79?
From 1982.
The ordinance was approved in 1979. The agreement was actually signed in 1982. So that will put us, out to the 50 years. So again, we're not extending any additional time. All we're doing is allowing them to buy the property and continue with the pilot program, with the exception that instead of paying us 6.28%, we will be receiving, or the municipality will be receiving 10% plus adding all the different incentives that we negotiated with them.
Yeah, I had a question. I know that I probably was not on council during this time, but was there a contract that said that, if it was going to be for sale, that it would be sold back to, that the housing authority would have first bids on it?
That right of first refusal was exercised in the negative. They decided not to exercise that right. They had that option, the option was closed to them. and they
Could you
rejected
come
it.
forward, use the mic, and identify yourself to the city council?
I'm Isaac Sissu, the general counsel for the purchaser, Liberty Village Estates Urban Renewal. The city of Plainfield, the Housing Authority of Plainfield, actually was given the opportunity about 6-7 months ago as a right of first refusal, and they decided to not exercise that option. They turned it down.
Told something there.
We have the director of,
He can't.
One of the things that was stated in my paperwork is that that the previous owners, was poor history of management and had issues also with HUD. Can you speak to that?
Yes, based on the report that we received from HUD, this particular project has failed the REACT report, which is a inspection that is conducted by HUD and is done on an annual basis. And they have to receive certain amount of score. Normally we want our projects to be anywhere between 95 or above. The last report that they received, it was in the 50s. Since that time, this entity has been managing and helping them improve the facility, and the last report that they received, it was up to 85%. So it has been a problematic landlord with, based on the record. So this amendment again will allow a new entity that has a lot more experience in this type of projects to be able to come in and manage and make the property better. In addition to that, they have agreed to, and we have negotiated that we would like to have a super, and they have agreed to either have a super on site, and if not, they have agreed to have the super be a resident of the city of Plainfield.
Thank you. Councilman Lee?
yes. Excuse me. You said in 1979 we were getting how much in the tax agreement? 6 point something, and it's going to go up to 10%. Is that the same increase that all of us have received on our regular property taxes between 79 and now? Are we treating them in special as opposed to regular citizens that pay over $50 million in taxes to this agency, the city? So give me a comparison of the percentage that they're going to be paying under the new agreement compared to what the citizens have increased from the time, I think it's 82 to now. If you can, and if not, you can bring it back if we put this on the agenda. The second problem I have, and you said that a lot of improvements, and they're going to do this and going to do that. Are there any penalties if they don't? The large complaint that I received in my ward, I have a lot of rental units there, is that the landlords don't give a you-know-what about the tenants once they're in. The numbers are ridiculous. They don't respond properly, and the city has nothing to do with that. I would expect to go out there, and if they correct it, it's fine, if not. But it goes beyond that. I think any tax abatement should have some penalties if they don't do what they say they're going to do.
Mr. Chairman, and I'll answer that.
Yes, sir.
All of the terms that have been laid out, if any party does not live up to the terms, that would in essence void the agreement and thus the benefits of the pilot. And so it is in the interest of all parties to see that all of the terms that have been laid out are met. And in the event they don't, they lose out on the pilot. So that is in essence the hammer that is held by the city.
Well, yes, I may agree with you, but he's just saying this is generally what they're going to do. Is this a term that you're placing in the contract that he must do that?
Yes.
And following that particular item, you're going to say if you don't do it, this contract is null and void.
It would be material breach of the contract, that's right.
And that includes such things as inspections and roaches and roof fixing and maintaining heat and propping and all of that.
And all of the additional items that have been laid out this evening, you know, as far as the super, the common area, all of those as well are material terms of the contract.
So, yes, and you're telling me that they are going to be in there and we will not have a situation like we had in a developer that had a lot of units and he sort of abandoned them and didn't do anything about elevators and stuff of that nature.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I'd like to see those terms because a lot of them are difficult to keep up. And I'd like to see the contract when you draft it for the tax abatement, if we give the tax abatement. Any other questions from any of the council people? Mr. Stark?
I just would like to commend, I don't know who negotiated this. I know that there was an initial meeting where 3 council members, myself included, Rivers and Matt, talked with the folks here. So after that, I don't know what happened, but whoever did the negotiating for the city and for the residents of Liberty Village did a service. Because I think the terms are better than they were and better than I expected. And I thank the folks here for agreeing to the terms.
Thank
We
you.
support this.
At this time, as I stated before, and I stated when I was in the meeting with you guys, because I did speak with the previous, well, not the previous owners, but the previous owner before them, and the information that you gave me tonight is something different than what I was told. So I would like to go back and get more information. This is just for me. At this time, I'm not in favor of moving this to the agenda.
May I just interject? There is a little bit of a timing issue here. The current HAP contract that exists on the property expires on May 7th. That contract, without a contract, there is no HAP contract there. There is no affordable housing at that property. So that's why it was crucial that we make sure that we get on the agenda for next week. I understand your concern. I'm not sure what the difference is in terms of what you were told versus the information I'm giving you. But I did want to underscore some other items about the potential purchaser and trying to lay any concerns that you guys may have.
Thank you. But at this time, again, wait, let me finish. I'm so tired of time constraints. As I stated, you know, I mean, I don't have enough information. It's just me. For me, I'm not in favor of putting this on the agenda due to lack of information and due to conflict of information that I received from the, not previous owner, but the previous owner before that. But this is just my vote. I mean, I'm not here to negotiate my vote. But at this time, like, as I stated, I'm not, and I don't know, I believe one of you called me and told me that this was going to be on the agenda before I even set the agenda. So you already knew that this was going to be on the agenda before. This is the council's agenda. So you gave me information that I didn't even know as council president was going to be on the agenda when you called it. And when you called me, I stated to you that I don't know anything about it being on the agenda. But at this time, you know, I don't have the information that I need to put this on the agenda.
Okay.
Council
So let's go
President,
around.
I have a question. I would like to ask Randy Wood to come up. I have a question for him.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Oh, good, thank you. Can you fill us in on what, you know, your take on this with regard to HAP not wanting to take on the project?
Well, first of all, we never bowed out of the bona fide, of the agreement. We were the managers for over 20 some odd years with the housing authority, with Liberty Village Associates. The real estate assessment center is done every year. We were having a lot of problems with Liberty Village Associates, going back and forth when their new owners came in. Not these gentlemen, I don't know who these gentlemen are at all. My beef is not, the housing authority's litigation is not with them. The problem was that when it came for the REACT inspection, when I became executive director in 2009, I've been with the housing authority for 26 years, working my way up, so I'm very familiar with the project. We were looking to go into the construction fund. When I came in 2009, I wanted to do a physical needs assessment of Liberty Village because it was in dire need of repair from the capital improvement standpoint. When I did the physical needs assessment, I went back to look for the owners. They had an intermediary by the name of Ramble Reed. Mr. Reed had passed away.
Okay.
So the intermediary between the Liberty Village Associates and the Housing Authority of Plainfield was null and void for probably a whole year.
Okay.
So when I was able to access some of the owners and the minority, of the general partner and minority owners, they came in, they didn't even know anything about this. This was a tax credit, well, not a tax credit deal, this was an IRS deal.
Okay.
And it was a tax shelter. So, in the contract, the Housing Authority of Plainfield had first right of refusal.
Right.
Now, as we move forward, I mean, this thing can go long and drawn out.
No, I just want to know why you all refused to.
We didn't refuse.
Thank you.
We didn't refuse. What it was in the contract, it said, if you couldn't match a bona fide offer, then we would gladly bow out in writing. We didn't do that. Because the offer didn't seem to be legitimate when it goes against the when in regards working with the HMFA guidelines as far as the assessment of the property.
So are you saying that the housing authority does want to be?
We would definitely be interested, yes. And what we told the Liberty Village, if we did in writing, which I have here, we told the Liberty Village Associates, if we could not match that bona fide offer, of course, we would rescind from the offer because we wouldn't match it. Now, the offer was $9.2 million. We're still waiting from them, from their attorneys to our attorney, to make sure that these gentlemen really have the mortgage. And if they're able to access the mortgage to do so, I'm not going to match that $9.2 million, then we would bow out of it legitimately.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We're not gonna go back and forth with this. It's on the table. It's on the table for a vote to move it to the agenda. And I stated,
I just have another question though, that I would like to ask of the gentleman. Given what the executive director said, my question is about that.
We had a term sheet from CPC. We are good to go. The Community Preservation Corporation, they're a lender that has we've moved forward with them. There is currently a mortgage that they would be giving us, so I'm surprised to hear that from Mr. Wood.
thank you.
And we've provided that to the administration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's,
Mr. Chairman and Council President, with your permission, please.
go ahead.
You got a couple minutes on this because this issue is on the table and we're getting ready to move, whether we're gonna move it to the agenda or not.
The administration takes a very hardline position against existing pilots for very good reasons. However, this is a project that, if not supported currently, will be a disservice to the residents of the Fourth Ward who are in dire need of this kind of housing. Not only that, but you've heard the terms that we have negotiated, which are significantly better than what exists today. And you also heard that the contract runs for 50 years. And so we are improving significantly the financial agreement between this new entity and the city, as well as we are providing better living conditions for the residents of that facility. And so even though this administration takes such a hard line against existing pilots, we believe that this particular agreement is in the best interest of the city and that we would encourage you to support this in the interest of the city as well as the residents of the Fourth Ward.
The residents of the Fourth Ward take this very seriously. As the councilwoman for the Fourth Ward, I take it extremely serious. I support my residents' needs 100%. But again, at this time, I don't think I have enough information as I'm hearing from the previous owner, because I understand that it was owned by the uncle, and then from the uncle to the nephew, and Randall Reed, from Randall Reed to Resnack to I don't know who. You know, I have a lot of information on this property. But I'm not going to, at the end of the day, because it's a rush, it should have came to us, it should have came with all the information so we could have got our back, so I could have got my backup information in February. Don't come to me in April and say you have to have it by May, when I'm sitting here with not the previous owner, but the previous owner, Mr. Randall Woods, who states that he would love to take this property back. So, with Chairman, move.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question before we go?
Can I,
Let me just,
this is to move it to the agenda.
I just want to ask one question. The the property is for 9 million, is that right? And Mr. Woods is saying that, that if you can prove that you have the mortgage for it, that he would rescind. Is there any paperwork that we could?
The administration will receive, as part of the negotiations.
Have you seen it?
Yes, as part of the negotiations that we conducted, obviously, we looked at the term sheet. And again, it's a term sheet, so we have to understand what a term sheet is. A term sheet is just a detailed information that the Community Preservation, which is the entity that normally funds a lot of the affordable housing projects throughout the state of New Jersey, has looked at their financials, has looked at the project, and is in favor of providing the necessary funds to make this transaction happen. So the money is there, and obviously, if they don't get the money, then this agreement will not go through. It's just contingent on them being able to go to the closing. Now, as far as, if I may just, as far as the previous owner and whatever happened, and I know there is some litigation between the housing authority and the existing owner, I think that's an issue between the housing authority and the current owner, which again, at this point, the administration is trying to move that current owner out of the way, let them deal with the housing authority on their legality, so that we can better improve the facility of 96 units to the residents. And you know, based on the information that we have received, we believe that this new entity is the proper entity to come in. They have the funding, they have put everything on the table, and they also have the experience, which I think is part of the problem that we had with the existing owner. So
We could, at that point, maybe we can give the housing authority of Plainfield an option to get it back and restore it for those residents over there. And, you know, the community room is gone. When I was, you know, about maybe before these new owners took over, there was a community room over there when it was housed through the housing authority of Plainfield. So again, at this time, you know, I mean, let's count.
Yes, let's take the vote. Should I add it to the?
I have to ask, what will happen if we don't reach an agreement, don't approve an agreement by May 7th? Who can answer that question?
Our contract is contingent on this pilot, so we're going to back away. The seller is going to be moving the property to market, and there would not be any affordable housing at that
They would
point.
just sell it on the market and just...
They would sell it on the market and not have a new half
Would
contract.
be no longer, in other words, there would be no subsidies
There
for
would
residents?
not be any subsidy any longer after
So-
May 7th.
So colleagues, I don't know if everybody heard that. Could you say that again, please?
May 7th is the date which the current HAP contract expires. After that date, the seller has no reason to keep the property affordable because he wouldn't be getting subsidy any longer. The property at that point would then move to market rate rent, and we, as the buyer, would move out of the picture. We don't have any reason to continue here. We have a contingency in our contract to continue with the opportunity to buy the property only so long as we have the pilot.
So I think we want to support our housing authority, as we're doing with the Elton Gardens project. But I think our top responsibility is to the residents of this place to live, and they are living there with subsidies. So if those subsidies go away, the status or the position of the housing authority is really secondary to that problem. And I think we have to support this, otherwise we are taking a big risk for these residents.
Randall Woods?
Yes.
You come to the mic?
Sure.
What type of risk are we taking with these residents?
It's true. I mean, if the HAP subsidy runs out, there'll be no subsidy there.
Okay.
You know, it's just a shame that, I mean, we're here debating something that's really a litigation. And I have not met these, this is the first time I've seen the gentleman. I wish I could have sat down and spoke with them, but really, it wasn't between the Housing Authority and Trico. It was between the Housing Authority and the Liberty Village Associates. So as I said, the only problem that the Housing Authority has is the bona fide offer that was not adhered to. We never received back a statement proving that the new owners, potential owners, had the finance to do so. And if it was out of our league in reference to budget, we would back out of it legitimately, without a doubt. We just want out of the contract, that's all, from the Housing Authority standpoint. But again, I don't like to see residents utilized as a political pawn for a deal.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Thank you.
I'll leave
absolutely.
it there.
So, yeah, so that was my question. Would you advise us to let this agreement go by the wayside and let those residents lose their vouchers?
No.
Just because we're trying to show a gesture of support to the
No.
housing authority?
I would not.
Thank you.
So even if, I'm sorry, can I say, even if we vote yes to put it on the agenda and the paperwork is not what it should be, we always can vote no the following week. Would that satisfy you once you get a chance to see
Sure.
if it's?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It would satisfy my commissioners and our development corporation, and we would understand.
Okay, so what I suggest is, well, I'm still not gonna support it, but it could come back as a new business item with 5 votes next week if we get that information.
Okay.
Only if we get that information. So Councilman Reed, call the
Okay,
roll.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Storch?
No.
No. So that's 3 for and 2 against at this point.
That's
And we'll put it back on next week as a new item.
with backup information.
And I'd like to see that information and the penalties
Yes.
for not conforming to the contract spelled out in the contract as you stated, Mr. Counsel. Item Y, resolution authorizing approval for street opening on Roosevelt Avenue in accordance with section 13:4-2G in parentheses, 2 in parentheses, A in parentheses of the Plainfield Municipal Code.
Yes.
Any objections to putting it on the agenda? Any questions? Okay, Z. This is a resolution authorizing the award of the contract to the Patch Management Inc. of Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, for pothole repairs in various locations throughout the city of Plainfield in the amount not to exceed $35,000. Any objections to put it on? Any questions at this point, other than the couple I have?
No.
Okay, my question is, this company is coming in to make repairs the proper way on potholes, or this is again the temporary way we make them now? Is there anyone who can answer that for me?
Sure. I've had the Director of Public Works join us tonight in anticipation of the
Yes.
question.
How you, Mr.
Yeah, it says
Ruiz?
here, the pothole killer.
Good evening, Superintendent of Public Works.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they'll be making permanent repairs.
Permanent repairs as opposed to temporary ones that you have to do now?
Well, depending on the type of, time of year we make the repairs, my staff does it, permanent repairs, if it's, if the weather allows it, but this machine will do it's a better repair.
Okay, will it be similar to what the highway is using or what Scotch Plains, I think, use it, cut a square out larger than the pothole and fill it in properly and all of that?
The state is currently using them. This machine cleans the hole, it adds a bonding agent, and it applies material at a very high rate, eliminating the air pockets, so preventing water from getting in there. And that's usually what you get the road failure, because you get water into the road surface.
Thank you, Mr. Louise. And you will be supervising the contract?
Absolutely. And we're excited to finally get it here.
Do you have permission to put Z on?
Yes.
Thank you. When will this go into effect?
Once we get the purchase order, I got to get out, get with the company and get a schedule. I'm looking for probably the 3rd or 4th week of April.
Thank you. Item Z1, resolution authorizing approval of a change order number 2, and the final one, the release of performance bonding, accepting of a 2-year maintenance bond, and a release of retainage and final payment in the amount of $76,120.06 for the asphalt paving systems of Egg Harbor Road in Hamilton, New Jersey, and for the reconstruction of South Avenue. Have permission to add that?
Yes.
Any other questions related to that? I do notice a couple of potholes on that section that we did on that, and I would suggest that, you know, I don't know if this can be done from the engineering and contract point of view, but we should have some type of agreement that if a pothole developed within a certain period of time, then the company that put the asphalt down and did the road initially should come in and do it for us. As an example, if you come down Watchung Avenue at Woodland, I think it is, there's a big pothole, and we just did the street. Over $2 million, I think it cost us. So if that is a suggestion that we consider something of that nature, and making the people that put the asphalt down, say within a year, 2 years, come back and repair afterwards.
We do have that, Council President. We do have those performance bonds in the contracts, and if you're referring to Watchung Avenue in Belvedere, that is one of the roads that we've done within that period of time, and that organization who won that contract is obligated to come back and do that repair.
Okay, good.
And that's true in some other cases too.
Yeah, and you know, we should have it properly done because that's a big pothole on Watchung Avenue. I know this. Any problems in putting this on the agenda?
No.
Okay.
Tell me what to fill a pothole and everybody's on there.
Z2, resolution authorizing a change order number 2 to the P&A Construction out of Colonial, New Jersey for the 2012 road improvement program reconstruction of various roads under contract number 1.
Yes.
Yes.
And the same thing applies there. Look at them closely.
Take everybody.
Z3, resolution authorizing the award of professional service contract to the Remington and Barrick engineers and Sea Caucus for the repair and correction of damages associated with Hurricane Sandy in the amount not to exceed $9,450.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is Sandy money we're getting? Or this is our treasury money?
Sandy.
It
is Sandy money. Yeah.
Okay.
Sandy money?
But you're
Yeah.
too.
Z4, resolution authorizing the award of a contract to the Top Line Construction of Somerville, New Jersey for the fiscal year 2013 New Jersey Department of Transportation Trust Fund and the CDBG PY39. What's that?
Resurfacing of West 3rd Street.
Yeah, resurfacing of West 3rd Street, Phase 1, in the amount not to exceed $595,254.14.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, this is bond money, I would imagine.
And trust fund.
And what's the PY39?
Program year.
That's the year?
Program.
Okay. All right, that'll be on the resolution, $595,000. That's West 3rd Street. In case anyone lives on West 3rd Street, they're interested, that'll be good. Resolution Z5, authorizing the award of a professional service contract pursuant to the Plainfield Municipal Code, competitive negotiation for professional services, and so forth and so on, under the pay-to-play to Remington again. And Sea Caucus for the reconstruction of Leland Court in Carlisle Terrace in the amount not to exceed $59,925.
Yes.
Okay. And this is Carlisle Terrace, and this is Mrs. She's not here tonight. I think you, Mr. Mayor, maybe you should write a personal letter and say we approve the engineering at least to get it done. That was Z5, Z6.
No, Chairman. I'm sorry. Chairman,
Okay, I have a Z51 here. It's a resolution authorizing a change order number 2, which is the final. The release of the performance bond, acceptance of 2-year maintenance bond, and the release of the retainage and final payment in the amount of $56,435.95 from the Black Rock Enterprise LLC of Old Bridge, New Jersey for the 21012 roadway improvement program. That should be 2010.
Yes.
Okay, 2010 roadway improvement program, contract number 3. On the agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to what? C6. Resolution awarding a contract to Community Consultants LLC for the provision of the housing and redevelopment services for the Community Development Block Grant 39, which is a comprehensive housing assistance program in the amount not to exceed $49,500.
Yes.
Any objection?
No.
Okay. Z7, resolution authorizing the escrow refunds for 4 payees and the amount on the tax schedule, doesn't say the amount here, but we did do a schedule. Any objection?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to go to introduction of ordinance on the first reading. Ordinance MC 2014-08, an ordinance to reallocate funds from the prior fund capital ordinance canceling out resolution R12514. Would you explain that to the public, Mr. Mr. Ranzi?
There was a council meeting, I guess, last week.
Yeah.
To cancel out resolution R9514.
Yeah.
Because of some inaccuracies in that particular resolution, which was then replaced by resolution 12514. At which point in time I told you we would follow that up with an ordinance showing what we were going to do with the $653,000, which is what this ordinance now does. It spends it on roads.
Thank you. Any objection to adding that?
No.
Anyone, any further questions? Ordinance MC 2014-09, an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 6, Building, Article 2, Property Maintenance, to add Section 7, Abatement of Nuisance, and Section 8 is a certification prior to the adoption of the resolution.
Yes.
Any objections?
Council President and Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a statement which I think is important about this particular ordinance that you're going to be considering. I have long had a problem with the fact that financial institutions that own properties in our city that are vacant, boarded up, foreclosed, that there's a cost to the city of Plainfield. There's a cost in that neighborhoods, they are affected in a negative way. The property values of around those boarded up homes are affected. And it also costs the city to provide police and fire services. And so this ordinance is about sending a very strong message and about the city recovering some of the costs that we incur from these financial institutions that have these boarded up and abandoned properties in the city. So this is an ordinance that will make a significant difference.
I hope so, because I have 5, and I see the police. The police was just over there the other day to check one of those properties. I understand they can't rent them because of the copper being removed and not cutting the water off. So, any objections to putting this ordinance on? No. And I hope that it's enforced. MC 2014-10, an ordinance to accept final report of the Plainfield Charter Study Commission and approving its submission to the New Jersey State Legislature for consideration.
Yes.
Okay. And did I miss any, Mr. Clerk?
Yeah.
Okay, it's you, to you.
Okay, red citizens participation. Citizens are welcome to address the council on any governmental item of concern to them, whether or not it's scheduled on the agenda. During this portion of the agenda, a total of 60 minutes have been allocated for all public comments to be presented. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name and address to the clerk for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of any single speaker is allowed, will be limited to 5 minutes. Large groups are urged to select someone to represent them.
Johnny Pritchard, 723 Arlington Avenue, Plainfield. Ladies and gentlemen, council, I have two things I'd like to go over with you. First, the Military Appreciation Month, I believe, is in this month in April. We need to show our support for our military personnel, especially those who are serving in harm's way in Afghanistan, and we need to back our men. We failed to do that during the war in Vietnam. Because of that, our soldiers were called murderers and Nazis and baby killers. And that's another N-word I'd like to have retired. And let's not forget, we lost 16 men from Plainfield who lost their lives fighting for our country during the war in Vietnam. And in their memory and in their honor, I'll sing. They loved us so, every day in 100 ways, they told us so, in honesty, in affection, they told us so, they loved us so, every day in 100 ways, they showed us so, with loyalty and bravery, they showed us so. They were our defenders, and they kept us free. They took an oath to guard us and fought for liberty. They loved us so, and we should know, for we love them so. And secondly, and very importantly, about Muhlenberg. We need to reactivate Muhlenberg. We do not need an apartment complex at the Muhlenberg campus. Scratch that idea once and for all. We need a children's ER and also an adult ER too. And audiology services, we need that too. The citizens of Plainfield and the surrounding towns should be systematically surveyed on medical specialties they most need and are interested. Low-cost dental clinics, for example. We need that at the Muhlenberg campus. We need to reactivate Muhlenberg as soon as possible. Studies centered on autism, that's another example. Multiple sclerosis. Other areas of study, like treatment of stroke treatment within time window. And it interests us to know, ladies and gentlemen, that the New Jersey Department of Health and Human Services has an interest in this area currently. And we also need a School of Medical Technology, named for Frank Bunker Gilbreth. It should be established on the existing Muhlenberg property. Branford already got an apartment complex close to the train station, and so does Netherwood. We do not need another apartment complex at the Muhlenberg campus. We need a hospital. We need it badly, and we need it ASAP. We need a hospital that's capable of mission. Forget about Muhlenberg? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We need to make Solaris and JFK lay square eggs. And the sooner we activate Muhlenberg, the better off we all would be. Do I make myself clear?
Rashid Abdul Haq, and I live at 1272 Park Avenue. I was listening to Captain Salty's tonight, and one problem is that 70% of our police officers live out of town. And a police officer is going to get involved in his town, because that's where his wife and family, children live at. That's where he takes his gun off, parks his car. And I can't fault police officers for getting involved in the PALs in their town. And we have a few police officers, and I think we got enough to make a difference. But there is a need to get police officers involved with working with our kids, firefighters, men from the church. And kids have to want to be police officers. And many of the kids, most of the kids, when I talk to them, they don't want to be police officers. Only time encounter they have police officers telling them something to do, or they're locking them up. So that's a need. That's what PAL is all about. But our police officers don't get involved as they should. That's just a suggestion to him. Some of you already know that I'm running for council in the 3rd Ward. I ran against Adrian Mapp last year. I feel I did well. I got 500 votes. He got 700. Considering his stature, I think I did well. But the reason I think I actually lost was that at least Charles McCray circulated literature saying I supported the apartments at the hospital. I never have supported them, and I never said I supported them. And I confronted him over that. I have said I support a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. On the hospital's vacant lot, which is on Park Avenue. We need a supermarket, and we need jobs. And I'm sure we could get them to hire a significant number of Plainfielders on that site. But what I really wanted to say tonight is that Jerry Green must go. Jerry Green has done very little for the city of Plainfield. He says he has so much power as an assemblyman for the state, but he could not or would not help us save our hospital. Also, Mr. Green's single vote gave Adrian Mapp the line for mayor, because Mr. Green would not allow any other member of the city committee to vote. That's another reason we should get rid of Mr. Green. Getting rid of Jerry is one of my campaign's goals, because Mr. Green wants to control everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council, Jason Bowen, Mayor. I come here tonight, I'm trying to purchase a property that was owned by Fannie Mae Preston, 1209 Central Avenue in Plainfield, and it has a lien of $4,242. I'm asking that the city vacate the lien so I can become a taxpayer, join the rest of you in this great city. That's why I'm here. I'm just hoping that you guys would grant me that request so I can build a home for my family. That's it. All right.
Thank you.
You want to address that as well?
Yeah,
Mr. You want to address that?
Mr. Smalley, somebody,
You don't vacate liens? Could you tell them?
could you just, speak to the citizen in reference to that?
Or tell them that?
Can you speak to him in reference to that?
Well, Council President, I'll certainly speak to the individual after the meeting.
Yes.
But as a policy, though, and legally speaking, we cannot vacate a duly attached lien to a property. But I'll certainly talk to him and see what can be done.
Thank you.
No problem.
Howard at 1353 Cushing Road. I'm here because I'm puzzled about two things. One was the extended discussion on this Liberty Village thing in the pilot program and so-called stories of consequences if the deal doesn't go through, which I'm not clear on either. But I'm also confused and perturbed why you passed two resolutions, one for the Delta dental insurance and the other for Cigna, in which the resolution reads the continuation of an existing contract, which expires on August the 31st. And nobody questioned what would happen if you failed to approve of that resolution, or why you have to continue an existing contract. I would probably presume that it was for budget purposes, but you've got a contract, I don't see how you can not continue it. Thank you.
Those assurances are part of the administration's collective bargaining.
Dr. Yield? Yes. Please respond.
The assurances are part of the city's collective bargaining agreement with the various unions that we contract with.
But you cannot continue it, could you? That's my question. The question is, I don't know why you have this resolution.
Well, it's going to run out in August, and we are proposing to continue the resolution, continue the contract ongoing through the course of the year.
Oh, to December 31st.
August 31st.
To August 31st next year.
I'm still confused.
Jeff Dunn, 537 Belvedere Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey. I want to basically thank President Rivers in regard to her acknowledgement in regard to Mary Ann Anderson, Director of the One Stop. She's given over 30 years, okay, 30 years of her time as far as workforce development for the county and for the city. Very few people know the work that she's done. She is the director of the One Stop in Plainfield and Elizabeth. And she has worked diligently, behind the scenes, quietly, no waving, no flags. I worked with her for over 15 years as a member of the Workforce Investment Board and as also a strategic partner of the One Stop. She has connected with many key components, such as Plainfield Health Center, such as Plainfield Housing, such as Head Start, such as the Board of Education, constantly educating and connecting the dots. And I think that this acknowledgement is more than worthy, it's more than needed, and again, she's one of those few people who does not talk about what she does, but she does a lot. And I want to emphasize that the new person that's taking over has some huge shoes to fill, but I would really encourage the city administration to engage with the Workforce Investment Board, engage with the One Stop, okay, to take advantage of these county resources in regard to workforce development. They're huge, and there's some brand new stuff that's coming down. We need to have greater collaboration. I have brought Carlos Sanchez his first week there. He saw the value. And I say continue the relationship because there's a need for workforce development in a town such as ours that has such issues in reference to unemployment and training. And I think this could be a huge win-win. So again, I applaud you for your efforts in reference to acknowledging this woman, and basically whatever I can do to help out to bring that word out, I'd be more than happy to wave that flag. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I always have to put the mic on. Flor Gonzalez from Plainfield Avenue. I have 3 points. Number one, I want to congratulate the administration and the mayor for bringing the program for the small business. And I miss you all there to work with the administration and to encourage the business to participate in a program that will give them a free going for a year in the web. I believe in one thing and one thing only. It doesn't matter how professional you want to look, it doesn't matter how good you want to look, but the more important that you're going to always be remembered is that you touch the people. It's not like you walk around them and say, oh, I'm a concept person or whatever, and therefore I have power. Well, God has a lot of power. And for some reason, I see that we have people in the concept that are members of the churches and they go there and talking about God, but you don't touch the people. And you're going to need to touch the people when we have these activities with the mayor. It's not just to get together and have coffee. It is to participate. It is to show the image in the marketing of the town. And over and over and over again for years, I have pleaded the concept and the administration to marketing the town in a different way. Not only to say we have 3,500 documentos in Plainfield, not only to say we have crime, but what you have done to backfire this marketing, that bad marketing about the city of Plainfield. We call in the criminals to come here and do everything they want to do. When we weaken the police department, and we see that the concept not do anything about it, but walk around it and then going into their own business. Should I wait for the concept and read to listen?
So you can continue. Councilman Reed, you can continue.
Okay, so we want the concept persons to know what are you representing. You're really representing the city, you're representing the people, and we do a lot of struggle every day to try to make it. And I do a lot of struggle to try to teach the people that they don't have to be afraid. That then you are there, sitting there as a council members, you have an obligation. Not like he said, Jerry Green, but you have an obligation to represent us and to working with the administration and to help the mayor and to help the city council, help everybody. Just work together and smile, because guess what? You're only going to live here one time. And then when you run, then what you have done? Nothing by being in the middle and not support the progress. And lastly, I want to say, I was the chair of the Housing Authority, and I'm a former commissioner, and I am certified commissioner. And I believe that when Councilman Reed and many of you have questions about how the program works, then I think that you should really get into and understand what the Housing Authority is all about. Understand what Section 8 is working. And don't let ever lose an opportunity that you bring back progress to them. Asking about security, asking about how they're going to manage, asking about all of that. But don't allow the one program can be lost because we do not understand the tax credit. I was in the Section 8 in Washington, the only commissioner sitting in Section 8 in Washington, and I'm telling you that you need to hurry up, because when the deadline come in here and you have not taken decisions and you have not understand what the program is all about, it's going to go, it's going to gone, and it's not going to turn back, because then you have to wait a couple of years in order for you to do it. So if you need to study and need you to investigate, this is the time to do it.
Thank you.
I'm back. Excuse me, I'll be quick. I have 3 points to make. Luckily, Rick and Will and Mr. Sassoon will make
Your name, please?
Oh, my name is William Eaton.
And you're here representing?
William H. Eaton Esquire. I represent Trico Partners. They're the ones who are the purchasers of Liberty Village. My first point I wanted to make was mostly for Mr. Reed. I couldn't leave without addressing his question because it's a serious question. It's an important one. 6.28% was negotiated in 1979 of our income, our gross shelter rent. You get the percentage rather than the way you do with your taxes. Your taxes, you strike a rate, you have your assessment base, and you probably reval that every 5 years or 10 years. With us, every year we go back to HUD and we get an increase. And your percentage is part of the increase. So that when we started, we were probably getting about $300 or $400 a month for rent. And the 6.28 came out to about $44,000 a year. Over that period of time, our rents have gone up, and we've just negotiated a new percentage at 10%. So now instead of $44,000, we're somewhere around $150,000. So we've tripled what we do in contributing to the fiscal affairs of the city. Now, there's another difference. A payment in lieu of taxes only has a 5% component that I think goes to the Board of Education. 95% goes to the city. None goes to the county. This is funding that goes directly to balancing your budget, not balancing every other government's budget that has their hand out. Now, I don't say that disparaging the Board of Ed or the county. I just say, when you have a payment in lieu of tax, every single year there's an increase. You get an increase, and it goes to you. It doesn't get spread around. And my third point, we'll all be back on the 15th of April, but if you could reconsider and let us know we'll be on the agenda, it would just make our lives a heck of a lot easier. Not that it's your job to make our lives easy. We'll be here and we'll be asking you to put us on the agenda, but if you put us on the agenda now, we know that we won't be sitting around all night. So please, I ask you, consider reconsidering and putting us on the agenda. Thank you. I'll shut up now.
Thank you.
I think Randy wanted to address Ms. Rivers' question, so I'm going to let Randy speak so you can hear it directly from Randy.
Right, thank you, Adam. Randy Wood, Executive Director of the Housing Authority of Plainfield.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is the letter of intent that the Housing Authority has been waiting for from Liberty Village Associates, which we never received in regards to the contract of first right of refusal, as well as under the subcategory of bona fide deal. And it shows here with this letter of intent, upon review of our attorneys in the morning, I would recommend that you put it on the agenda because the Housing Authority is not going to match $9.2 or $9.7 million, which is above $2 million above the appraisal price, because we would have to do a tax credit deal in order to purchase the property. What I would ask, and I would ask Mr. Sassoon and his corporate and Trico, if their deal falls through, that the Housing Authority would still be in consideration to have the first right of refusal to move forward on the property, and we would do it as a 4% HMFA tax credit deal.
Corporation Counsel.
Yes, I obviously would have to speak with the folks at Trico to see if they would agree to that, but certainly we can negotiate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay? And the last part, before I put them on, is that with Trico moving forward, Mr. Sassoon said he would sit down with the Housing Authority possibly, it's not in stone, and see if maybe we can partner in some way, somehow, regarding the property. And I am thoroughly open to that. Okay?
A management contract.
Possibly, we haven't gotten that far, but we just, we were just talking in the hallway, so it was 5 minutes, we would have to sit down and negotiate if we get to that point.
Okay, so the second thing was, if the deal falls through, that Housing Authority be considered.
That is correct, and that's also, we have a letter to that fact with Liberty Village Associates, the seller, that if the deal does fall through with Trico, that they will come back to the Housing Authority. We do have that in stone. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Again, I just, I asked, I'm sorry?
Your name, please.
My name is Isaac Sassoon. I'm the attorney for the purchaser, Liberty Village Estates. Again, I just wanted the council to reconsider the vote, and I wanted to urge and really underscore the importance here of the impending issue. I understand that some of you guys may have been aware of this a little bit late in the game, but it is an impending deadline, which is fairly important.
As I stated earlier, it will be going on the agenda. I mean, well, it will be going on the agenda next week after new business. But the executive director stated that he received the information that, I wanted to get also. So.
I just wanted to add, the reason he never got the information is I've never known of Randy Wood up until 10 minutes ago. So there was no dialogue at all. I had no idea that that was a request that he needed, and I accommodated him immediately. So.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Incidentally, with respect to my question as it relates to the taxes, I wanted to know the equivalent.
Let them finish for privilege of the floor, and then we can speak.
Oh, okay.
Let them finish. Let them speak privilege of the floor, and then the council can make their comments.
Okay, you got it.
James Branch, interim Plainfield is actually dealing with the 200 Garfield Avenue project. We're reviewing the preliminary designs for reconstructing the property there. As being the fourth time that I've been addressing the issue of the computer consulting work that my firm did for you years ago, and for the demanding outstanding payment of the bill for $18,000 for the report of Vision/Solution, the main question that was been going around is what the lawyer asked is, what do we do to resolve that particular computer bookkeeping problem? And the answer is that we work. I paid my staff to do the necessary work to address the problems that was at hand. As to continue for you to ignore my request for payment and want to force me to take you to court over the issue is going to cause some very negative feedback for the city. One of the things that's going to take place is they're going to call the records of Jim Florio. And as far as dealing with that, that's going to be like a very negative vibe between the situation. As far as dealing with the issue of the work that was done, and it is a current problem because as far as dealing with the whole issue of computer technology, the internet, so on and so forth, there's a New York Times article as far as outlined in the April 2nd, 2014 year where the controller of the city of New York is looking to deal with the oversight of computerization contracts. And that is the basic issue at hand. So as far as dealing with that, we made a request in 3 emails that was sent to the city council members and to the administration. And we have requested response, but nobody has responded as of yet. One of the things I moved forward, and we're working on several other things, but as far as just dealing with the basic validity of law, that is the basic problem. It's not my desire to be a lawyer. We have sought a lawyer to address the problem, but as far as dealing with it, the city wants to continue, ignoring our requests, and it's really out of hand. Actually, it's in the wrong court. We're working on another project, so as far as dealing with that, if the lawyers want to do it, they'll do what they have to do. As far as dealing with right now for the city of Plainfield, in a letter that I addressed to the Quakers on March 14th, we have 3 projects that we're working on. One is the Interfaith Dialogue, which includes the Children of Abraham. And this particular, and this is the outline, it's about 105 pages dealing with it. But one of the particular problems of dealing with this particular issue is outlined in The Higher Voice, and a new movie called The Son of God. And it addresses, basic core friction within our prayer houses. And the one word is prayer, but yet we still have these fights going on, within religions themselves, which is hampering the health of our relationships. So the second thing is that we want to put together a television program called Starting at Home, Can We Heal Our Spiritual Health? And we're going to have to make requests from the city if we could work with the high school as well as the senior citizen building to get the pilot of these questions as far as what is the problem between Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. The third thing was the request was made that a lady wanted to put together a program called Help Keep Me Clean, addressing the problem of the drugs and alcohol in the community, and if the religious organizations would set up a better infrastructure where people could go to and talk about the particular problems. Now, I don't want to keep making copies of this stuff, and I would like to know, is there any procedure as far as dealing with, when we give you these articles and stuff like that, that the council receives them, or can we use the internet as far as the email and have verification that you have received them, or can some type of policy be put in place for that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Who do I give this to?
Denise Packley, 124 East 7th Street. I looked in the packet at the library, and for item L, which is authorizing approval for the tax collector to conduct a sale of 15 municipal held tax sale certificates, the total amount was over $1 million, and the lesser amount was $670,280. And it appeared to me, I'm wondering if somebody can verify, is this money that will be coming back to the city? And will it be the million or the 670? That's pretty good right there.
Well, frankly, we don't know yet. Obviously, these properties are all going to go up to auction.
Right.
And we hope to recoup as much as possible. These are all properties where the city owns liens on the property and wishes to foreclose. So they will all go to auction.
I believe that was a strategy that was mentioned in the budget presentation. I must say it's a very good direction. I had one other question. I was going through some old email, and in November, I had asked Director Hellwig about the UCIA parking deck, and apparently once the city gives UCI evidence of general liability insurance and signs a hold harmless agreement, that would trigger use of the facility. And I'm wondering if anyone can tell whether that happened yet.
Centralized court statement.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, that has not yet gone into place, but we are in contact with the UCIA to put that in place very shortly.
Good evening, Council Mayor Pharrell Martin, 1201 East Front Street, Plainfield. Since we were talking about potholes earlier today also, there's a huge one in front of 1200 East Front Street, very big. Also, now that the weather is breaking, are we going to have those who come and clean the sewers and the outlets out? There's so much trash blocking these outlets, and it's disgusting. Not only a lot of the residents haven't started cleaning up again, so they need to get out there and clean up, but I don't think they want to clean up on the corners, which they should. So we need that cleaned up. It's a mess. So I propose again, the fourth Saturday of each month, that we have a community cleanup, and maybe that'll bring us together, the people in the community, if we start working together. And during that week, we celebrate humanity here in Plainfield. Also, I would like to see more signs for no littering. I want the police to start giving tickets for those that are dirtying up in town, letting them know that we will not tolerate this. I would like to see some paint put on our train stations in the area, like, you know, to make it look nice. Welcome to Plainfield, Plainfield train stations here. Just simple things. A little bit of paint won't hurt. The parks, now that the summer's coming, again, activities for the children. It'd be nice if we could get a few skateboarding facilities in a few of the parks here. I know the Milt Campbell Park, the tennis courts, right, they're a mess. I don't know if they're going to put it back. If not, maybe we could have that for the skating board. Also, there's no place for the little children, the swings for them, you know, for younger, 2-year-old, 3-year-olds. They have the other ones, but maybe we can get that done. You know, the bathrooms are a mess. I know they had vandalism there, so I'm wondering if they're going to take care of that. Even the park on Leland doesn't look good. Anything that needs to be done as far as recreation for the children here in town. And I believe that's it for this evening. Anything else, if I think of it, I will bring it up. And again, we have to work together as a whole to make changes. And that's why I said we have to come together as a community so that we can get more people to interact, come out, speak up, say what needs to be done, and so we all can work together. So everyone have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Louise will take care of that pothole on
please.
Front Street.
1200 East Front.
Yes.
You know, that's a state county.
Thank you. Any more for Village of
Louise can take.
Council President.
You can't come up, Greg. You already had your chance.
I just want to know, Mr. Reed,
Sir.
a follow-up question.
Sir.
No, I'll talk to you after.
That's fine, thanks.
Council President, just to address a couple of Ms. Martin's concerns, we are taking appropriate repair action for Campbell Field. We understand that the bathrooms are in disrepair. We've had some vandalism, and we also are aware that some of the other bathrooms in the parks need some attention. We are on the case. Mr. Luis and the engineering division are taking steps to rectify the situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more for Village of the Floor? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
that we close the Village of the Floor. Thank you. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. I think I had a few council people that wanted to make comments.
Yes,
No.
I want to thank, you know, become a good friend, I think, maybe, who always talks about Miss Martin. Thank you, Miss Martin. You are a breath of fresh air to me, and I did do some homework, and I want to get with you. I think you sent me an email, and I'm going to get to you, but I've done some homework. And there are resolutions that other cities have done with reference to being a humane city or a city of character. And I looked up one, and there is a designation of being a city of character way down in Opelika, Alabama. But there are several cities, and there's an organization that does this to help us focus in on how we treat one another. So their particular city has done a resolution, and they celebrate, and it's in partnership with other agencies in the town, and they've been designated that to help each other regardless of race, color, gender, etc., and to focus in on the areas that you're talking about. I want to share this with you, and maybe we can put something together, because I think that part of our issues are that it sounds corny when you say, oh, be a city of character or humanity, but it really is not. And maybe we can change the culture of some of our meetings where we can present people who represent that. And we have tons and tons of people in our city who represent character and the kind of community that we want to represent. So I do thank you for keeping us apprised and keeping us on the case to realize who we really are. After all is said and done, all of this stuff doesn't matter if we don't know how to treat one another. So thank you so much, and we're going to get on top of that.
Council President and members of the governing body, just a few quick things. One, we launched the Get Your Business, Plainfield Get Your Business online this past Wednesday, and I would encourage all council members as well as the people in the audience to encourage the businesses that you know, whether it's a home-based business or whether it's a business that has an address here in the business district, to take advantage of having an online presence. It's free, and it comes with hosting for 1 year at no cost to you, no cost to the city of Plainfield. Number two, we have fixed the issue that we've had for the last few years with the two warring baseball factions. We now have one Plainfield Baseball League, and so that is something that we are very happy about. The kids are going to be, the parents are going to be playing nice, and the kids are going to be playing ball. And the 100-day report, we will be presenting, the administration will be presenting this 100-day report on April 16th, which is a Wednesday. And the final thing is that Ms. Martin was talking about volunteerism and so on and so forth. This coming Wednesday, between 11 and 2 p.m., AT&T will be here in the city working at Sidler Field and at Bryant Park Playground. So we encourage anyone who would like to volunteer to be a part of this project to help, clean up our parks and paint and so on and so forth. We invite you to come on out and be volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you, what's the name of the baseball league? I'm sorry.
It's Plainfield Baseball League, and it has combined the city's recreational league with the Queen City Baseball League. And there's now a new board that is comprised of members from both sides, and so everyone is very happy.
Well, having been present for the baseball
Yes.
awards, I want to applaud the administration for doing this. It's a great thing for the kids and the city council too.
Yes, please.
Council President, I just
Yes.
said one more question. I wanted to know, in light of the information we've gotten tonight, if you'd like to reconsider putting item X back on putting item X on the agenda for next week.
What's item?
Item X is
Liberty Village?
My position has not changed, I mean.
Yeah, it'll be on, and it'll be a late starter. We're talking about the Liberty Village, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a late starter, and I'm sure we get 5 votes on it.
I mean, if we were going to make a motion tonight, would it have to be someone who voted no?
What was that again, sir?
Yeah, someone who voted no would have to make the motion.
I can't make the motion tonight.
Yeah.
But,
Take no motions.
Councilwoman Taylor can make the motion.
Because they don't vote.
It's a non-voting meeting, so only consensus is required.
Well, you can make the motion, like a procedural motion at any council meeting.
No, I'm saying a pure consensus would be enough, because this is not a vote. There was no motion, it just failed for lack of consensus.
Yeah. But to bring it back,
Right now,
Yes.
would require just consensus, that's all.
consensus meaning
that you have 4 votes.
4 votes, yeah, that's what I was,
Yeah.
okay. But somebody has to, doesn't somebody have to?
Let's
put
leave
it
it
on?
the way we
Anyone
were.
can do it.
It'll be on,
Anyone.
it'll be
Okay.
considered, and it'll be passed, I'm sure.
Do I make a motion to reconsider?
You said,
No, what I was saying is that if there is consensus now, we don't even need a motion to reconsider. There's consensus is consensus.
It's a motion on the table, we were just asking for a second. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye. Any abstentions? So what was that, 3-3? No, it fails again, wasting time.
I make the motion.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, someone, we had
Oh, we have one
I
vote?
just had to add on to what the mayor just spoke about a second ago.
Okay.
We also have another volunteer group. I just sent the email out after 5 today for Saturday at Mill Campbell Field to paint the building and to paint the benches as well. So
Great,
Saturday, another
great,
volunteer group to paint.
Wow, yes.
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion
Thank you.
passes.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.